Morning, everyone. I hope you are well. You can hear me loud and clear. Let me see who's in here. Oh, it's a bit echoey in here. I'm actually not in my usual office on a Monday morning. I'm actually in my brother's very, very large kitchen, and it's a bit echoey in here. And it's pitch black outside still. The sun's just coming up here in London. So I hope you're well. It's quite echoey here, but there we go. That's what happens when you're broadcasting for a kitchen away from home today and away from the office as well. What's moving markets this morning? Well, not a great deal, to be honest. If we look at the DAX, our favourite pre-market system, we were long here from 650. We got to target one here, the midline on the Bollinger Band here, then got stopped out on the second half because it whipsawed back down here. My stop loss was around about this level here. Then we had a big strong candle, so I re-entered here at 7:15, and it's just looks like it's about to hit target just ahead of the open. If we look at the higher time frames here on the DAX, Friday we closed. You can see Friday's close here, marked on the chart there, 24,027. So just around that key 24,000 level. If we look at our low and our high for Friday, we rallied all day Friday. We had a positive close on 90% of the European markets on Friday. Our high for Friday took us to 24,080. That was very short-lived, and we closed at, I say, just holding the key 24,000 level. So we into the under half of the Bollinger Band to close out the week. But if we look at the daily time frame just for the DAX, we can see we had a positive week last week, breaching the 20-day moving average here on Tuesday, following Friday, Mondays. Big panic sell-off as we started the new month, and off we rallied. We're higher. Obviously, markets now looking for these all-time high levels. 24,800 is the next big line in the sand as far as the DAX is concerned. But you can see here on the daily time frame, the stochastic is into its overbought area and looking to cross to go short potentially later on in the week. So I'll watch that as the week goes on. Anyway, that's the high time frame. We're more interested in what's going on in the 5-minute, 2-minute time frame here into the open. 7:36 at the moment, so we've still got 25 minutes before the actual open. But that first that re-entry, I should say, because everything was still nicely aligned here from 7:15. It's just hit target 2 there at 24,034. So normally I would have closed that out on this time frame, close it out completely on the move. Out and then see what happens, see if we get a move. See if we get the volatility we normally get to start the trading day. It's obviously the start of the trading week as well. We've got obviously all eyes very much on what's going to happen on Wednesday and how. Really, I mean, from my point of view, it's how Jay Powell really manages it. Obviously, he's coming to the end of his tenure. Trump will announce his political. It's my take on things. His political replacement, rather than perhaps the best man for the job. From it comes to experience, I mean, all these guys and girls are very, very experienced and very, very well qualified to do the job. But obviously, it's going to be a significant political appointment if Kevin Hassett gets the job, which that's what it looks like. So we're going to get a much more liberal or more in line with the politics of the day of the White House coming out of the Fed next year and rolling forward to the end of Trump's tenure. Markets might get carried away with expectations of some significant rate cuts next year. May not happen. Obviously, it's all in the detail. However, as far as the next couple of meetings are concerned, if we look at the FedWatch tool from Friday, the futures are just opening. Been open a little while. If I just put that up, you can see we were 88% last time I looked. I haven't looked at this yet. There we're 87.2. It's down a tick, but that's as nailed on as things get in in the financial markets. An 88% chance of a rate cut. Interestingly, though, obviously there's it's a 12 voting members. Yeah, 12 voting members of the 19 probably at least 2 will dissent about holding rates, given the way the data's been, the government lockdown. And if we move forward to January, it's about 50-50 whether they go again in January. That'll so the ERC of she's a bit higher, 65% was 50-50. So it's 25% chance of another rate cut, so 65% chance of no move, so only a 25% chance of another cut in January. So whether we get 2, 3, some were talking about 5 and 6, weren't they, for 2026. Indeed, this time last year, many people were talking about 5 or 6 rate cuts for 2025, and obviously that hasn't happened. We had that one, and looks like we're going to get another one here. We will have 3 for the year. It looks like we're going to get another one next week. Next week. This week on Wednesday. Obviously, so join me live for that and see if that moves the market. Really, as I say, it's really the dot plots from Wednesday. It's going to be how many dissent and how virulent the dissent is, and then on the flip side is how Stephen Merrin, who wanted 50 basis points cut last time, if he's got any more supporters from the last time. Remember they all pulled together, but dissent is not something that happens in the Fed. It happens in other central banks. I think I was reading this morning an article in Reuters, something about I think there's been only 3 dissenters since 2019. I don't know, it was on this number here, but it's not something that happens within the Fed. Anyway, our long DAX is we've taken I would have taken a little bit off there from that re-entry, so that one would have hit target 1. Target 2 would have been stopped out. So that's still overall a winner. Actually, it probably negated if I had my stop loss there. Re-entered here on 7.15. Target here, the Bollinger Band was touched there at 23.34. So I would close half of that again because we re-entered here. So I've still got half on. Bit risky, but the stop loss now would be here under this current candle. So see how much more we get out of that on the move up. FTSE, the other obviously market is about to open in 20 minutes. Similar move here. So an initial trade here from the touch of the out. There we are. There's the first touch of the outside. The Bollinger Band. The stocks doesn't cross till this point here, so we get a small lift to the Bollinger Band, and again stopped out on the second position to there. But again, a re-entry immediately hits virtually at target, so a few points on that. But follow the process. The process is cool, and that's going still long as well. But there's been a touch here. I was waiting for an actual cross, but that I might that would have. Let's see how this finishes. Yeah, that was probably closed out there. So that entry, first half off, and then the second half off there. So that's it's difficult to say that's cross. It's moved. The orange has moved up above the blue and it's come down. So I'd be happy to close that out and wait now for the opening trade, guys. If there's anything else you want to have a look at, well, obviously we've had weakness in Bitcoin and cryptos over the weekend. We went under 90,000 yesterday. Do let me know in this chat box if you want to talk about. So a relatively positive start in Europe here. If we pop across the pond, the futures are relatively positive with the hourly chart there. So this is opening trades this morning down at under 48,000. We're now we're still at 40. Where are we? 47,977. So we're ticking higher on the Dow. The Nasdaq similarly. It's a bit more positive move on the Nasdaq to start the new week, which is also looking. So it's been quite positive there. That's looking more like a meaty one to get involved in on the short-term basis. So where are we? There we are. It's a much more positive move. See the move down. Target 1, target 2, turned around again there. So the cross appeared here. There, you would have only got in on that big candle there at also at 7.15. So the Nasdaq is long and running. Would have hit hasn't actually hit the outside of the Bollinger Band yet, has it? So that's also long as a continuation trade, not as a new trade. You can see the cross happened there, but it wasn't completed until the 7:15 candle. So that's really European players moving the market now. And again, might be a false move. It's Monday morning. We've had that big strategic pitch away from. Don't talk about politics now. The Trump administration issued their strategic view of the world, of the Western Hemisphere, very Washington focused, very USA focused. And for the first time in living memory, the Russians agreed with it. I was gobsmacked with some of the stuff that was coming out of there. So a big tilt away from Europe. Towards the Indo-Pacific and snubbing the Europeans. Somebody said on, I was watching an interview earlier. I can't remember what news channel it was on. I think it might have been Channel 4 in the UK, but a middle finger to Europe's one commentator was calling it. Having got the NATO spending up, which is what Trump wanted, to the 5% of GDP or target of 5% of GDP, a big pivot away from Europe in this strategic review of the current administration. Major shake-up in politics since the Second World War. He started with trade and now having a shake on politics. The world is changing. The face of the world is changing and being driven by Donald J. Trump. And consequences are, could be quite, or are quite significant, as we've seen already. So Nasdaq stock markets up on all of that news. I've shrugged that off. Rest of the markets, crypto, I say Bitcoin under 90,000, 88,000 at the weekend, and obviously a thin volume. So yesterday we went as low as 87,600. We've recouped into close. Well, I'm saying close Sunday trading, and the Asian markets have lifted Bitcoin again back over 91,000. So we're still shy of that key 92,000 level we were sort of pivoting around on Friday. But we're up 91,500 at the moment. So again, that's sort of a modest bid yesterday, and for the start of the European session there on Bitcoin. Oil, which we still got our positions in oil. We were long from last Monday, weren't we? And we're still moving that high. We took some of the position off. I meant to ask. I should have updated you guys on Discord. I didn't. I promised to do that later. I didn't get a chance yesterday. But anyway, oil is still long as far as we're concerned, or as far as I'm concerned. Very unexcited trade, but it's worked out. Eventually, having gone very negative on the first day. So we're up over $60, which is a key level here. So worries about Russian supply, Venezuelan supply, obviously with what's going on. Excuse me, I slipped me coffee. Down there as well. Remember, Venezuela has the world's largest, bigger than Saudi Arabia, world's largest known reserves. Reserves, remember, oil reserves, remember, are the ones that economically could be extracted, and it's a very quite a low shelf. Some of the Venezuelan reserves, not as easy to get to as in the Gulf, but still. So yeah, all about the oil. Many are arguing, but anyway, Dewey shy over 60, and Brent is still shy of 65, but it's over the key 64 where we took some profit from last week off as well. We're still long both those positions. The other indices, I should need to update, but yeah, we were off. We got out on the Nikkei last week. We were short, and I say it triggered long on my system, but I didn't share it with you on the 4th. That's gone nowhere since then. But we're out of this. It was about 300 odd point loss. Excuse me, on last week, just as it just went over the 20 point. The 20-day moving average. Also, there's quite a lot of trades triggered on Friday, but because I'm not in my normal workstation, I can't. I meant to share them with you over the weekend, and I haven't. But there were quite a lot of forex trades. So again, I won't post them on to say I told you so on the Discord group. But apologies to where's he gone? somebody was asking yesterday, I said I would do it. Apologies to Alpha if you're around. I did have more trades on Friday night, as I wrote here. There's that hit on the Nasdaq. New position on Friday night, though. I'll send details later, and I didn't do that yesterday, so I apologise. I'm sorry, Alpha, and anybody else who follows that little note on there. What I did share yesterday, actually, on the trade chat, which I can't do it on the general chat anymore. Some of the massive moves we've seen on the Nasdaq 100, in particular, some of the individual stocks. Micron up 180%, Palantir 173. Whether you agree with their policies or not? AMD 115%. One obviously just from Friday's deal, and Intel because of the government involved up 100%. Some of the other big chip makers, Broadcom, ASML, the Dutch-based chip maker, up 55%. AMAT up 47%. So it's been a massive move, obviously thanks to NVIDIA principally for the chips, and it's been going on for a couple of years now, and there's still some legs in it. The amount of investment that's gone in there, so watch that into 2026 as well. So anyway, let's have a look back with 10 minutes from open. So actually interesting, we're down on the day on the DAX. I see the daily candles are actually red. There we are. So we where was I? We were long. I was holding that long. I had to stop there, so that's been stopped out. The second half of that, but still winning trades so far. So let's just sit and wait, see what happens. There's the cross on the chart. So that, I mean, again, technically now, that would have triggered again if this is just a bot trading this. And it does on some of the strategies. That is now short into the open. Obviously, bear in mind we're 10 minutes ahead of the open, and obviously the volatility that causes. So stop loss now is above. This might be just playing with us because interestingly, our pre-market high is above Friday's close. So that's looking positive. Sorry, let me just. For stock markets today. Sorry, just get rid of that. So that was that was Friday's high. That's our high, and our above Friday's close. So our pre-market high this morning is around there. So that's Friday's close here. So Friday pre-market was we started here. So this is pre-market high is just above the close. I'm going to make that a 2 so we can see it. So that's the pre-market high. Our pre-market low so far. That's what we do this morning. Is there. So that's our range. Let's go up to the 5-minute time frame. So that's our. Sorry, just bear with me a second. Actually, it's a bit higher than that, wasn't it? So it's not yesterday. No, this is so it's a little bit touch high. So that's our pre-market high, the big thick purple line. There's our pre-market low. It's just sort of there, isn't it? 24,008. So it's right on 24,000. The big supply. So clearly buyers at 24,000 at 6 o'clock, and again then at 7 o'clock. That's interesting, isn't it? And we're down in the last 5 minutes, so we've triggered short. That's gone against us already. So this seems to me, just looking at this, a bit biased to the upside, but we're sort of channel banners. No real data to drive the markets today. It's all about expectations on Wednesday. Tomorrow, though, we got. I think JOLTS is tomorrow ahead of the Fed. Let me just double check that. I haven't said that. It might be Thursday. My brain can turn to fudge sometimes. But really, markets are all about what's happening on Wednesday. And really what's said, I say that it's guaranteed as much as markets can be, as I said earlier, for a 25 basis points cut. But it's really what the other members of the Fed say, and it's also what obviously Chair Powell says at his press conference, and expectations into 2026. So if I just check when the JOLTS, I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah. So not a great deal of data today. Overnight, obviously, we've got the RBA tomorrow night, or early morning Tuesday. Some strong data coming out of Australia. And the Aussie dollar, we'll come to the Aussie dollar in a minute, had a really, really strong run. So rates remaining at 3.6% from the RBA. Bank of Japan Governor Ueda has got a schedule to speak. He's very much in focus. Also, ADP apparently tomorrow. Tentatively, we had one last week under the private payrolls this week. Remember, we had that divergence last week. We had the ADP, which was a negative 34,000 job losses. Compared to the weekly claims, which came in at only 191,000. So that's showing not a few people applying for unemployment benefit for the first time, but private payrolls negative for the fourth month of 2025. So see what ADP looks like tomorrow as well. But yeah, in the JOLTS openings, 7 and a bit million. We'll see what that looks like. We've got both September and October data. September data is expected to be around about 723, and October opening 7.14 million. So that could really sort of colour things potentially tomorrow. Remember, the Fed meeting starts tomorrow. They announce on Wednesday. There's also a 10-year bond auction. Last time we went for just over 4%, 4.07 tomorrow night as well. So plenty going on to get our teeth into. Inflation from Japan and China on Wednesday as well. So Bank of Canada on Wednesday, and then the FOMC also on Wednesday as well. So plenty going on this week, and the Swiss National Bank on Thursday. Both the Canadians and the Swiss very, very unlikely to move. Swiss already at 0%, and don't want to go negative again. But it's been a strong year for the Swiss franc, and the Canadians also holding tight at 2.25% tomorrow. Anyway, so busy week ahead. Major focus is obviously what the Fed's saying. But as far as our trading in the open is concerned, we were short, and that's been stopped out. Big up candles, as I suggested. Seems to me like the momentum is potentially to the upside, but it doesn't matter what I think. It's as you can see here, the cross hasn't fulfilled here on the stochastic, so we've gone back up. Given that we're like 5 minutes ahead of the open, I'm not going to start, and we just had a losing trade. I'll take that off. I'm not going to take another position on that. So let's delete that. So that was short, and that hasn't happened. There's our pre-market high, and now the pre-market high now you can see is getting higher. What am I talking about? No, that was the entry on it. Let's delete that as well. So that was a short we got, and immediately the stop was there, and we got stopped out. So that's the pre-market high. Sorry, 24,054, and we are moving high. So the bias is to the upside. You can see that here, and we're still moving high. If we go up to the higher time frame, we would have still been long. I don't think it would have been. Oh no, we haven't. 10 minutes has come back down, taking us out. That's still moved up. That would have taken you out sort of 15-minute. Those were sort of choppier, messier. There's the 24. There's the low of the day and a big candle on the cross there. So that would have gone long 7:15 as well. And that's still long. It depends how tight you got your stop loss on that. But that's a bit of a choppy start. I understand it's Monday. Just because my bias again, I'm talking myself into long positions. The high time frame is long, but you trade what you see, you follow the strategy. Let's have a look at a different layout. We look at what the VWAP's doing this morning for the DAX. It's not loaded. It can be a bit low. VWAP's not loading. Never mind. We'll come back to that in a minute. So the crossing strategy. So the crossing EMA here, the 5-minute also very, very choppy, but again biased to the upside from that 7:15 candle. This one a bit more, a bit more risk because we would have got in there. The stop loss would have been down there. As we'd moved up, we'd moved the stop loss up a bit, but again, the volatility might have taken us out. Big down would have taken us out, and then that would have gone long again now. So that would have gone long again at 24.40. The crossing trend following strategy on the big uptick, even though it's all the volume of the opening trades. So just close out. If I just add the volume indicator, you'll see again, those of you who don't trade the open, you see the impact of the open. What's the volume? Oh, there it is. On the trade, interesting volume there at 7 o'clock. Yeah, so there we are. There's also buys at 7 o'clock as we went into 24,000. See the volume there at 7 o'clock. Europe open, 24,000 was hit, and buyers again, follow through buyers 10 minutes later. So but big support today, 24,000. Clearly in play. So let me just take volumes in the way there, isn't it? See how stretched the stochastics have got here as we go into the open. And we're just 1 minute shy now. In fact, let's go down to the 1 minute time frame. You see the volatility ticks in. It's moving around a bit. So there's that short time frame. It's too choppy for me. Stick the 2 minutes. So there we are, 2 minutes. Sort of buy. You see that bias to the upside. I've got two volume ticks on there. I must put volume on twice. So there's the opening candle. We did get a big one, say at that 7 o'clock. This is 8 o'clock, a whole hour later. It should top out volume wise. There we are. And again, it's sort of you can see that it's biased to the upside. Are we going to test the pre-market high? We're supported by this 2 minute time frame. We're supported by the 20 period here. It's been up, it's been down, it's been up, it's been down. But obviously this strategy is a mean reverting strategy, so we're looking for to go short again now, but because we've touched the outside of the Bollinger Band here, but we're still moving long on the open, so it's still up. 5 minutes is really my trading time frame typically. So we've got the 5 minutes, nothing's happening there. Again, looking to go short potentially. Because we had the touch there, we had a major. So I'm just leaving it now till we've this opening move has perhaps settled. So just rejecting the pre-market high, and again see that's crossing there, so that might be enough to suggest a short, which again might be sold off again. So we've had some mixed results ahead of the open. A couple of winners, I thought 3 winners and a loser. This one is looking to go short. As you can see there, we've been up, we've been down, and there's a cross there. So short there. If we go back to the 2 minute though, you see the 2 minute was moved up ahead of the open, and then it's gone short with the volume on open. So that would have gone short there. It's already under that moving average, so target just here for the 2 minutes. So the 2 minute trader is short on the completion of the first candle of the live market, given that we've rejected pre-market highs initially, and short for these first few minutes, and then so half of that would have been closed now. It's just hit target the outside of the Bollinger Band. That's enough, but you can see there's a bit of opening up of the Bollinger Band here on the 2 minute time frame. So we may be seeing some volume and significant movement in one direction. We don't know which way yet, but at the moment it's looking like here on the 2 minute maybe down. So that's half of that position closed, and that's then moving lower again. So it could easily turn around. As we move forward, the 5 minute scalper is just confirmed. It's still not confirmed because the candle isn't closed. This is looking like a bit of a fade potentially. Get rid of that. Potential fade. So watch how this goes. See how we've got quite an aggressive move up. Anyway, we'll come back to those in a minute. Let's go through crypto. We had a look at oil. We had a look at forex. The dollar remains sort of relatively weak as we go into Fed week. We'll just do these. Actually, do these in. I'll just do them in order. 80.33 for Swissy. Sideways there. Sorry, it's not a lot of movement if I put the hourly chart up. Rallied into close and we're back down to 80.33 this morning for the Swissy. Dollar yen 155. So dollar come back in Asian trades. A weaker dollar. A weaker yen to start the week so far. We closed. We were around about 155.10. We were now 155.30. So 10-20 pips to the upside. That's been moving a bit higher. Dollar CAD 33. 138.20 or under 138.20. So again, both obviously, as we said, both the Bank of Canada not going to move rates today this week. Bank of the United States, the Fed will cut rates, as we keep saying. Dollar CAD down at 138. Something like a 10-week low. This is, I think I was looking at. If we look at the daily time frame. Big move down under 140 week before last, and big move down on Friday. And we're down again this morning. So ahead of the central bank week. So the bias is very much to the downside. So be careful what you take and have a look at what with the CAD and the dollar down 138.60. Next level down. If you're trading this, we look at the daily time frame. We look to the left. Where are we? Well, we're sort of pivoting through in a key area, aren't we? 138.16. So that takes, as we said last week, takes us down to the big fat 138 itself. Interesting big volume spike there on the 28th of November as we breached the 20-day moving average and moved a significant move lower, and that's a big move lower on Friday, but on lower volume. Also quite interesting, but a bit of a pivot area at 138. So see how 138 plays out this week, as we said on Friday. 116.60 the euro. Strong week last week. Give some of the gains back Thursday and Friday. We're back up again this morning. 116.60 for the euro. Aussie has a really good run. 66.40 now. Breached 60, broke away from that 65 at the end of November, and we haven't looked back through 66. We should put 66 on here as well. That's a significant level. Sorry, coordinates. It should be 66. Key level for the Aussie with no change from their central bank this week. So as we say, look to the left always. Where's our next zone? Takes us to 66.85 as we said last week for the Aussie from that high of middle of September. So Aussie having a really good run. Can it hold? Will it last? All that sort of chatter. Don't bet against it. I mean, it's a classic trend run. Look at these all consecutive green candles. People say, well, that's not going to run forever. Well, it has. Well, it's continued on big bodied candles. Big volume, little candle, as we hesitated at 65.50 at the end of the month, and then a big candle there last week took us to 66, and we've held 66 for Thursday, Friday, and now Monday. So will we get to 66.85? Who knows? But 66.40 at the moment. 66.50 is the first resistance area for the Aussie, but it's a good run. Obviously, RBA tomorrow night and Fed on Wednesday. Obviously, driving that pair to the upside currently. So Kiwi, let's quickly flip to the Kiwi as well. We're talking about the Aussie. 57.82, not as aggressive as the Aussie move, but still a very positive move. So the dollar weak across the board. 133 35 for sterling. And we consolidated following the big rise on Wednesday last week. 133.30, and again, it's a key, as we said on, you see that right through there. You saw, as we said on Friday, and start to see on Wednesday, on Thursday as well, a key area, 133.30, support area, pivot area has been broken there for cable. Indices we'll come back to in a minute, and gold also starting the week positively. We were at 42.80 or something, weren't we, on Friday? Now we sold off quite aggressively as profit was taken on Friday. Sorry, it's the daily time frame. So we did have a down day on Friday, if we got that, but we are still holding way above 4,000. We're into our 10th week now. 10th consecutive week above $4,000 for an ounce of gold. And 4,200 is also a key level, which we went into on Friday, and but we'd been at 4,220. So this Friday's quite spiky sell-off around about the London fix on Friday. The 4 o'clock candle took us into 4,200, but then we found buyers again at 4,200. And moved up. So that was Friday's low. That was, I must have put this on expecting to trade gold. So that's Friday's high. See how gold's been impacted by the European Open very marginally. So what's this strategy? The strategy's just went long there actually, about 8 o'clock. So the 8 o'clock, the opening candle for gold has taken us long, you gold traders. So 5-minute candle was long, bang on there, big old. There's the first, look, it's interesting this on gold, isn't it? That first touch was there at 7:05, so we had to wait an hour. So 7:05 was the first touch of the outside of the Bollinger Band. At that point, we were just sideways during the Asian session. We had a significant candle there at 5:30. Which is interesting, as I always like to say. Our Friday high was all the way up there. Friday low was down there. Pre-market highs and lows. That was the pre-market. I said pre-market, the pre-European Open, 4,218. So that might be an upside target if we don't get to the outside of the Bollinger Band now. But that's quite a significant move, and there is increased volume, interestingly, at 8 o'clock as well. So I might look at gold a bit more. But this is obviously starting the week as well. The actual spot market is yet to open, but gold futures obviously off and running. So that's running. So we'll watch that one as well. So that's gone long. Target there is 4,213. So that's unusual one for Monday morning. We'll come back to that. Our more traditional opening trades is obviously the DAX and the FTSE, the DAX in particular. So let's have a look at what's happened there. We were looking about short. There we are. So the shorts continued to move lower. There's that expansion of the Bollinger Bands as we were talking about, as I was talking about, showing increased volatility. So there's the squeeze, and we moved up ahead of the open. So that was so the move higher looks like might have been false, but obviously we're only 10-15 minutes into the opening of the day, and there's still a long way to go. But what's interesting is we've gone into 24,000 and we've pushed lower. One would expect potential buyers here if we're going to go higher. If there isn't buyers as the market tests lower, we could be in for quite a weak day, is what that is telling me from years of staring at charts. If you want to disagree with me, all well and good. That's what moves the market. You're not right all the time, and you've got to be learned to be wrong. And as James O'Brien coined a few years ago, there's no point in having a brain if you can't change it, or a mind if you can't change it. Don't stick. Certainly as a scalper, you can't stick to I'm right all along. So yeah, there we go. So a nice short in the money on the DAX now. and moving low. So again, first part of that would have been take some profit off as we've hit the outside of the Bollinger Band, but the trend is still down. The stochastics are still very. I mean, the only thing about the stochastics is the severity of the fall. It's quite steep, but it is on the volume of the opening trade. So we are still moving low. So my stop loss now would be on the entry. So that's for. I mean, if we got filled there, the spread might have been. No, the spread looks quite nice and tight. Well, no, let's just get rid of. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Let's make it a wee bit bigger. Yeah, there we are. So that's the entry. That was target one. Stop losses now there at the entry from way up here as we're moving lower. To lock in some of the second half of that trade profits. Remember, you know how I trade. We take 50% at target one and second 50% if we reverse to our stop loss typically or manually. So we'll see. So we had a big spike. So where have we been? We've been as low as 23,999, 10 points below 24,000. So we're still looking relatively weak. Is FTSE doing the same thing? Let's have a look. No, the FTSE is reversed, in fact, hasn't it? So that was short target one, and then it's reversed immediately there on open. So FTSE's gone back in the opposite direction. So divergence between the FTSE and the DAX here on this opening Monday of week. Where are we? Week 50 at 48 or something. There's not many left. There's a 8th of so it's what's that? So that's 52, 51, 50. Week 49. 8th of December. Moving down. So there we go. And let's have a look. The Nasdaq was the other one, wasn't it? It was quite nice. That was long, and then it's just got to target one. We took some off, and I'd have pulled the stop loss, so that would have been stopped out, and that's now gone short as well. So that went short on the reversal. The thing about scalping, guys, obviously you can't, just because you've gone long, all of a sudden it can reverse, and you can't get attached to them. So short target one, a few points later, and still short and moving down quite aggressively. So that's gone short also at 7:45 ahead of the open. The Dow short there, having been long here, long target one, target two, big reverse, and then short there. So the Dow is all sort of in unison now. So the Dow was short from 740, target one, target two's been hit. And again, because that isn't open, I would have taken that profit off. I would have closed that. We haven't got live data for the Dow. It's different with the DAX and the FTSE. There is live markets. There's no cash market yet for the Dow, so I'll just follow the rules a bit more strictly ahead of the open. So target one would have been there, the midline of the Bollinger Band. So we'd have got in at 47,978. Target one would have took us to 47,970, so 10 or 8 points there, and then target two that looks like, well, certainly it's hit there at 47,949. So again, that's out. Now it's reversed. So this is now looking there again. So we've got a break of the Bollinger Band with the body of the candle, so it's even weaker, but it's turned around as well. So this is yet to cross, but this is now looking to go long again, the Dow, here on this 5-minute time frame. The DAX might have turned around. There we whilst you were away, our short was closed out, our second position. So there's, so we were short. We took some off there as it's touched the outside of the Bollinger. We were still short, but our stop loss was down here, and it's turned around and took us out. So that final third or final 20% would have been closed out, but it still hasn't crossed. So there we go. So we see how it all pans out for the day. So lots of chopping about as normal at open, where the players move it around to fill what they want to be filled. So some big cats and some big 5-minute candles there at the open, which is what you want, because it should be direction. was rejected. Again, really strong sign of 24,000 being key buyers. So we were pushing it a bit, seeing if we were talking about a weekday on 1 5-minute candle, far too early to start saying that sort of thing. But again, another confirmation of buyers at 24,000. So we had it here at 6 o'clock, here at 7 and 7:15, and again here on the open around about 8 o'clock and 8:15. Buys on the DAX, but there's the pre-market high still, 24,055. So we've been relatively range bound. There's Friday's close, 24,025, and our pre-market low was there, but now interestingly the low of the day, the cash session low, has moved us to 23,991. Okay, so we are still sideways but biased, but since we're only 20 minutes in, we'll see what comes up of that. So let's go back to gold. Gold was looking okay, wasn't it? Gold was long and still long. It's running out of legs potentially, but stop loss is down the bottom of the entry of the candle, so it's strong candle on open, and then it sort of petered out over the last 15 minutes. So let's see what happens. Any requests for? Let me just have a chat. Any requests for? Okay, no. Okay. Right, I'm going to wrap this up in the next 10 minutes if nobody's got any requests. So just actually, we see how that new short, leave it another 10 minutes, see how to the 8:30 and see how the DAX settles down. Let's go back to the FTSE. So again, FTSE's done the same thing. Strong start, but it's been it's inverse. It's had a strong start and now it's inversed. So that, in fact, what's happened there? So that was short. That's gone against. So that you can see the stochastics are still moving down. Price action moved up, touched the outside of the Bollinger Band again, and then we've turned lower as well. So yeah. If we break the midline of the Bollinger Band, you could add that as a continuation, but I'd question that as well. And wait for some more news to drive that potentially, but that's not, again, FTSE. It's the reason I don't trade the FTSE. It's less predictable than the DAX. So again, that's another great example of that. There, so there we are. So the DAX is gone long again, and touch the outside, a bit too volatile there. So there we are. So it was a fade. So the fade short was the one that's looks like it's not out. So stocks may be getting some bid to the upside. So we've still got that divergence between the DAX and the FTSE here in Europe. So 24,055 pre-market high being tested again. That cross there on the stocks hasn't completed. We have to wait for this candle, but it's already remember, it's already touched the outside of the Bollinger Band. So again, I've been looking to go short on that, but let's see if there's buys further up ahead. So if there's no other marks anybody wants to have a look at, I'm going to wrap this up now and go and get some breakfast. The sun has just come up now. It's a fairly grey, dim day out there in London town. So again, another mixed start to the week for us trading wise. There some winners, a few losers, but I think we're overall in the money. We should do this, shouldn't we? Actually place the trades as it's here on this demo account as the strategy triggers. Obviously, there's no be all end all. Let's just take a step back and look at the trending chart. There we are. There's that trending. The big 5-minute candles there on the crossing moving average strategy. So there's clearly the 24,000 low. Big buy there at 15, as we said, 10, 15. That's gone long. Although very choppy. But again, you see that clearly the 24,000. The buys at 24,000. Even that was a big short there. So it's again market trying to move you lower, trying to get buys filled around about the 24,000 level. And as we saw on the other setup, we went as low as 23,990. So some smart brokers in Germany getting filled at around about that 23,990 level or 23,995, and we're now at 24,065. So they'll be pretty pleased with that. But yeah, bias to the upside, which is what we sort of suggested, didn't we, at the beginning? That's what it felt like. So the move short, we quite often get this in the these first half an hour of trading was testing the lows, testing how cheap they could get there, what they were after. So what looked like a potential weak day is now looking like a potential strong day, but who knows? It's Monday. There's not a lot of data to drive the market, certainly in Europe. You look at the news for today. We just go back to there. There's industrial production out of Germany was better than expected. I might have listed things, but that was at 7 o'clock. That's that 7 o'clock candle. Sentex from Euro later on. There's nothing. The two members of the Bank of England, Taylor and Miss Lombardelli, are speaking. Are they? Are they? Oh no, it's two separate speeches. That's later on tonight, and that's really it for Europe. So nothing really significantly driving that. Yeah, the DAX now long, so I'll leave you with a long DAX on the trend following strategy. See if my I don't want to make a copy. I want to open the layout. See if the VWAP has kicked into life. It hasn't kicked into life. Never mind. Waiting for more data. Okay. Right, so I'll investigate that later on. And our main reverting strategy for the open was long, then short, and now it's interesting to see the stochastics are still short, so that wouldn't have triggered a new trade. So it's actually looking. Actually, what we're talking, yeah. Maybe a short there because these are still, but this could cross. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out. Too much thinking power. Leave it for later. Leave it for the day. If fine, I'll update. What I'll do now. Actually, I will update Fridays because I get a copy of my workstation here, can't I? Is what I can do. Right. Yeah. Good. All right. I will leave you in peace, my friends. The hour's up, and I will see you tomorrow for the JOLTS numbers tomorrow later on this afternoon. So have a good Monday. Stay safe, and I will see you all.